All right, I hope you can see me and hear me. If you can, please let me know. I'm having a bit of an internet problem, so okay, I hope it's reaching you. If anybody's here, say hi and let me know if you can hear and see me because I have an internet problem today. I hope it's streaming properly. Let me know. If you can see me and hear me, type AV in the chat box. And if you're joining us from Facebook, then click on the link above this video and give StreamYard permission to show your name. Okay, great, perfect. All right, hi everyone. Hi Mangesh, Anjal, Heinz, Rajesh, Shobha, Pallavi, and Deveshri, and Lakshmi. Okay, great. Everyone is here. Let's begin. All right. So I want to just start. I want you to just do this with me so that you can also experience what is prana. Okay. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and take your mind into the deep core of your abdomen. This mudra is called Prana mudra. Okay, two hands like this, just touching the tips. Okay, keep it like that, and take some really deep breaths. Now try to bring this hand to the top center on the top of your body like this. Okay, do this and rotate clockwise slowly. With your right hand, rotate clockwise slowly, and you'll start feeling something inside your head. Then change, take your left, rotate anti-clockwise with your left, right on top of your head, and start feeling some movements in your body. Now come here, rotate clockwise like this with your right hand. In front of your third eye, you'll certainly feel it. Rotate anti-clockwise with your left hand a few times. In your third eye, you'll feel it. And try at your throat. You'll be able to feel it at your throat as well. If you could feel it, type feel it, felt it, FI in the chat box. Type FI in the chat box if you could feel it, okay? Now try your heart level also. At your heart, rotate it a few times and you'll feel it in your heart as well. Rotate this way, you'll feel it anti-clockwise, the left hand, okay? Now try your navel. Try rotating at your navel and you'll feel it at your navel as well. Rotate with your left, you'll feel it at your navel, okay? Come lower, somewhere at your pelvic region, okay? Rotate and you'll feel it. Because the pelvic region is the biggest store of prana. Okay, and you can also feel it on your feet and your thighs as well. You feel it on your thighs. Okay, and you can feel it at your feet. Try the bottom of your feet as well. Just rotate like this at the bottom of your feet and you'll feel it. Okay. Now, the only ones who can't feel it are the ones who are out of body. For some reason, you decided to check out of body and not take anything from your sensory neurons anywhere in your body, and you can't feel prana. Otherwise, everyone can feel it. It's called aura also. Okay, when we move around with people, it's called aura. And our auras interact, and then we realize whether we are compatible or not compatible. If you're not compatible, you'll start getting bad feelings with the person, anxiety. You meet someone and you have butterflies in your stomach, and you think because of Bollywood, you think this is love. That's actually a signal for you to run away. Okay, you should not be there. If you're there, then anything can happen. All right. So we have this whole faculty called prana. It's a life force. It tells us how to lead our life. If we pay attention to it, it'll tell us like what's possible, what's not possible, everything. It's compatible. Am I meeting with another mind or not? Or is there any point at all? How you go on explaining when the other person's not even interested, right? It's called correctile dysfunction. No? You want to correct someone, even if they're not interested for you for to be corrected, go around correcting someone. Okay, especially family members. Everyone has got correctile dysfunction in families. They have to correct each other. Okay. So that can all be eliminated if you could understand what is prana and what it is, how it is, cultivate it, respect it, feel it, expand it, and live in this world, you'll be more effective in this world. In fact, the control of prana in yoga, Siddha Yoga, is one of the subjects in Bhukti Siddhi. Bhukti Siddhi. Okay? So that means for you to be able to create things in the world, have the power to create things, Bhukti. When you think of something, to be able to do it. Okay? If you have enough prana, you can do that. All right, let's get into the subject now. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the chat box here. And some people have also answered a form, and I'll get into those questions at the very end. But I made a small presentation for you guys. So let's see, what is prana? What is the life force prana? Okay, can you see this? Okay, I'm sure you can. Yes. Prana, the life force. Okay, so let's get into it. What's prana? Oh, big, big, big. Okay, let me make it smaller. All right. So water is called the molecule of life. Prana is formed from two elements, fire and water. Fire and water combine to form prana, and I'm going to explain to you how that happens. Okay. Hydrophilic substances are substances which pull water on a quantum level, on a very basic level. They are attracted to water. They just pull water. When they pull and squeeze water, they squeeze it into such a hug that two water molecules come together and create H3O2, throwing out one hydrogen. It forms a stable lattice with H3O2. So H2O plus H2O gives H3O2 plus H plus, which is a proton. Okay, I hope you guys remember your lessons from school because the nucleus of a hydrogen atom is only a proton. Okay, so two things get formed: a negatively charged honeycomb lattice gets formed across all hydrophilic substances, and the proton forms a proton wire. So this is called nadi. And nature is abundant with hydrophilic substances which create this. Okay, and in nature you find a lot of this electricity going on. And inside our body also, there are a lot of hydrophilic substances. So our entire body almost, even our cells are hydrophilic. So everything is covered with structured water, okay, which has formed a lattice, a honeycomb lattice, and it's negatively charged. And on top, there will be proton wires that are formed, and these wires can reconnect with each other in whatever way. Now, because of the shape of the human body, this creates a pathway of protons and there is an electric charge and sometimes there is a movement of electricity which is basically in our case it will be protons moving, yeah, but uh, sometimes the protons can concentrate in one place and electrons can move as well, and these protons will get into the water and then the water needs to be restructured again. The hydrophilic substance restructures the water, the protons come out, and then if the protons go back, one electron runs out, and it keeps some kind of charge keeps happening there. Okay, so honestly I don't understand it, but that's probably the reason how we get nadis. Okay, on top of that there's also um, pathways within cells where photons can move. And that is also a part of prana. Okay. So when we understand prana, we understand it from our experience of it. Scientists are trying to understand it from various ways. Good luck to them. Okay. So prana can flow along the nadi as the breath moves in the body or when the body moves. Okay. So if you move your body, you can feel the flow of prana. Okay. Just raise your right hand and see what happens. Raise your right hand and see what happens. There'll be fluids moving, which is the lymphatic fluids will be moving. Even the blood will move differently. But over and above that, you can feel an electricity moving. Okay. If you raise this hand, there'll be an electricity moving this way. If you raise both hands, it's a different kind of electricity. If you cross hands, it's a different electricity. So all these postures, they're called asana and mudra. If you know the secrets of asana and mudra, you can move prana, you can store prana. Okay. Breath is also movement only. When you breathe in, there's a different movement of prana. When you breathe out, there's a different movement of prana. But the source of the prana is water. And when water is exposed to infrared radiation, and we can produce infrared radiation in our body, right? You know that we can produce heat. If you bring your palms together, you can feel some heat. Okay? Don't keep it in front of the AC and say, I'm not feeling anything. You have to keep it away from wind and you'll feel heat in between your palms. That's infrared radiation. So we have infrared radiation. They found that the lattice grows in infrared radiation and prana increases. Okay, it powers every single cell. So the biggest source of infrared radiation, of course, is the sun. So if you go and sit in the sun, they say you get vitamin D. That's yes, that's correct. But you also get other infrared radiation, infrared A radiation, infrared B radiation creates vitamin D. But infrared A radiation will make prana in your body. Okay. So even exposing yourself to the sun for some time gives you prana. If you overexpose, you'll burn yourself. Okay. And prana responds to intention. Let's try this. Okay. Keep keep your mind on your right forefinger. Okay, those of you who have right forefinger, do it. If you don't have, use the next finger, any finger. Use the thumb also. Keep your attention on your right forefinger, and you'll find that already some kind of it feels different from your left forefinger. Now just try to feel both, and you'll see there's more activity in the right just by you bringing your attention there. Yes, you feeling it? Okay, so it's okay. Let me close this while I show you. Okay, so bring your hands together like this, okay, and close by. Now put your attention only in your right forefinger. Think right forefinger, look at the thumb. Start noticing all the creases in your finger. Start noticing everything. And now feel the difference between your right forefinger and left forefinger. As soon as you bring your attention to your left forefinger, even it starts flowing in the left forefinger. But till then it was not, right? Okay. Suppose you bring your attention to your nose tip here. Just bring your attention. Bring your attention and have an intention to feel prana there, and you'll feel it in your nose tip. Okay. If you want to feel prana in your third eye, bring your attention to your third eye and have an intention to feel prana, and prana will start flowing. So prana flows according to our intention and attention. Attention, yes, attention it will flow in random ways, but if you put an intention into the attention, you can flow the prana in proper ways. So let's say you got a cough and you can't stop coughing. You put your attention into that throat area and then you just move the prana out, excess prana out, and then you'll stop coughing. Okay. It's the same thing with any disease. If you bring your attention to it long enough, you can cure it. That's it. There's no bigger secret to healing. Okay, that's it. That's why I stopped teaching healing because it's so easy. Bring your attention into the place where there's a problem and hold it there with the intention that all the prana gets balanced, the excess prana goes away. It's really that simple. And you can use this mudra to point. Okay, that's it. If you can't feel your body, that means you're not occupied in your body. Then you can't control your prana. Anything else will control your prana. Intentions that other people make for you are already there if you don't make your own intentions, and that will control your prana. You can also intend your intentions somehow magically work on other people's hands and legs also. Okay, so I'm going to intend and try and send prana to your left palm on the back of your left palm. Okay, left palm only, and I'm going to send my intention there. but you can concentrate on anything else. All right. Okay. And anybody who's watching, even if you're watching the recording, I'm putting my intention now on all your left palms, on the back of your left palms, and I just want you to notice both palms. But my intention is on your left palm. Okay, it's okay even if you're watching the recording. It's an intention that it should activate the prana in your left palm even if you're watching the recording. This is my intention. I've not colored the intention with any self doubt. Will it happen? Will it won't happen? Won't it happen? Can you feel the difference? Yes. Can everybody else feel the difference in your left palm versus your right palm? The back of your left palm versus the back of your right palm? Because I put my intention there. Okay? Yeah, it gets stimulated, right? Yeah. Good. So wherever you put your intention with your prana, if you have a kachada intention that this person doesn't like me, this person hates me, you're powering that. You're creating that with your intention. Your intention can affect anything in the world because prana responds to focused intention. So to be able to develop focused intention, you have to become a siddha. At least you have to take a first level siddha initiation and do the practice for 6 weeks, and then you'll be able to control your intention. Now if you try, you'll get does it work, doesn't it work, voice will come which you don't have control over. Okay, if you don't have control over the voices in your own head, you can never make a promise to anyone because you're an unreliable person. Did you realize that? If you can't control the voices in your own head and the thoughts in your own head, how can you make a promise to someone that I will do something? Because the voices in your head can change anytime, like the weather, and you can't keep your promise. This is why people's relationships are failing because nobody can keep their promise. Okay? This is also why you have to be a Siddha. Alright? Guys, it's not even optional nowadays to be a Siddha. You have to be one, otherwise, you're screwed. Okay. So, prana can be stored in several places. Okay? The first one is the bladder, which is called Mula Kasha. There's also the pericardium and around the heart, which is called Hridaya Kasha, and you can store prana there also. It can be just stored in a static manner. Without losing energy, you can store it there. In the meninges of your brain also, you can store prana. That is called Chidakasha. And also in your skin and pores, you can store it, which is called Kaya Kasha. Okay? The stored prana is static and is known as Virya. Virya. Okay, this has also got two other names in Ayurveda. The stored prana is called Ojas, and the moving one is called Tejas. Okay, so in yoga we just call it Virya and Prana. That's it. But it's the same thing. Now there are Pancha Prana, five pranas, and they are prana, which is kind of like a spiral, and it creates something called vitality. Depending on the movements of the electrons or the protons in that area, there's a spiraling feeling, and that's called vitality. Okay, what exactly happens? A proton moving, electron moving? I don't know. Okay, I'm not a scientist, but uh, that movement is called prana. So prana is not imaginary; it can be measured. Aparna is the downward movement of prana, and it creates. Now, when inside the cells prana is spiraling like this, that cell becomes vital. It starts getting its vitality back, and it produce even if it reproduces, it will reproduce in a very exact manner without losing any information. When your cells reproduce without losing by losing some information, you age. But if you are able to contain that information, you can stop aging, right? Okay. So apana is the downward movement of prana, which results in expulsion of sweat and urine and peristalsis in your intestine. So your food moves down your pipe with apana vayu. Udana vayu is upward movement, so it's the upward movement of lymph and blood. So after the heart has pumped some blood, it goes to the calves, and the calf pumps it back. Nobody knows how. Okay, they say there are spasms in the calf which send it back, da 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 da. But we understand it as udana, which is the upward movement of lymph and blood. It's a kind of prana. Samana is the sideward movement of lymph and blood. So this will give you proprioception. Where is everything in relation to my body? Where's my hand in relation to my head? Or where's this desk in relation to me? Okay? So proxemics and proprioception is something which is sensed uh, by the sideward movement of prana. Yeah. So that's called samana. And then there's vyana, which creates a kind of glow. Okay, just a minute. Right. Vyana creates a kind of glow around your body. Okay. Don't ask me how this happens, but there's an electromagnetic field created by all these electrons moving in your body. And that field is known as Vyana. Okay. And this is your aura. It's also known as your charisma or your vibe or whatever. Okay. Now, Kurma, these are called Upapranas, Upavayus or Upapranas. Okay. Kurma, it creates explosions in your body, like sneezing, blinking your eyes, burping, farting. All these expulsive movements, explosive movements are created by Kurma vibe. Okay, and also there are many explosions every time a bacteria is blasted, or sometime whatever substance is there it can get blasted inside. So there are many explosions, and there are bigger explosions in your body, like hiccups. All of that is caused by Kurma Vayu, and the reason it causes that is to cleanse the cells. So it's like sneezing; it removes every poison from the cells all over your body. Okay, and Naga Vayu is it creates waves in your body. Now these waves in your body can give you an altered reality. It can give you a simulation. You can simulate another reality. You can construct another reality, which is basically called imagination or thinking. So Naga gives you that, right? And it modulates the space around you so that you get a new reality at that point of time, right? So if you think that somebody is lying to you, then the reality is different. If you think they're saying the truth, the reality is different. Okay, that's created by Naga. Kirkira creates pulsation in your cell wall, which creates integrity and healing. So it's like a golden pulsation that happens in every cell, and it creates integrity and healing. Devdatta gives you rest and sleep and stillness is also required for the body cells. So the switching off and sleeping is done by Devdatta Vayu. Dhananjaya Vayu dismantles your body. While you're alive, it does apoptosis, which is cell death. It kills some cells off. And when you die, it decomposes your body, and Devdatta is the last prana to leave the body. Okay, so you have 10 pranas, 5 pranas, and 5 upa pranas. Okay, all right. How do we lose prana? And the question is, the answer is our emotions. Our emotions create disturbances in prana flow, and you lose charge in your prana. Charges are lost. Cell function gets disrupted when your emotions are imbalanced. Dehydration occurs, and the hydrophilic substances become less hydrophilic. So you have less energy, you feel more tired. Then you'll be diagnosed with adrenal fatigue when you feel more tired. Okay, it's basically prana loss because of your emotions. Gada, 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 gada. Emotions can't control. Never put any effort to control. Never thought it's important to control. Never learned anything how to control it. I will control. I will own all negative emotions of mine. Okay, so that's how you lose prana. All right, everyone got it. When we don't get enough sun, also we lose prana because infrared radiation is critical to create prana. Men lose virya, which is the static prana. They lose it by ejaculation because the seminal fluid is uh, is hydrophilic and it has a lot of virya in it. And then if you throw it out, you keep throwing it out, you lose prana. Women, your endometrium is full of prana, and when you have periods, you lose prana, and you know how you are after periods. So you should learn in Siddha Yoga. We learn how to move that virya out of the seminal fluid and out of the endometrium and store it in the bladder because you don't lose it. I mean, you lose water from the bladder, but it's the surface of the bladder itself which starts storing prana. Okay, that's called Uddiyana. And we store prana in our Uddiyana, or we can store in Hridaya, we can store in head, we can store in 5 internal organs: spleen, heart, kidneys, liver, lungs. These can all store prana because They have that property to be able to store prana. Okay, so the lungs are little moist. Okay, they're not dry. They're also hydrophilic, and that also creates a layer of prana around it. Everything in your body is hydrophilic. Okay, if you get dehydrated, you lose prana. If you get dehydrated or you don't get enough sun, you lose prana. If you get excess sun, you'll again get dehydrated. Okay, so you lose prana. Too much time in the sun will make you lose prana. The right amount of time when you're increased prana, then you should leave the sun. When you feel better and you feel great, then you should leave the sun. Don't sit there somewhere and then sun yourself more and then get burnt to a crisp. Okay? All right. So, how to stop losing prana? Learn Siddha Yoga. There's no shortcut. You have to learn Siddha Yoga. At least you have to learn the first Diksha, which is called Bhavana Diksha. All right? Could you just close all the windows because there's a lot of sound from outside? Okay. So you'll learn and practice over 6 weeks how to control your emotions and virya loss. This is what happens when you do Bhavana Diksha. You will learn how to communicate to heal relationships. How many of you want this? How many of you want to communicate to heal relationships? Instead of right now how you're communicating and spoiling them. You want to communicate and heal relationships? Then you need this. Okay? You learn how to be happy. How many of you already know how to be happy? Those who don't know, yes, you mean just wait, you know. If you lose your health, you can't be happy, right? So happiness is warriorhood. This is warriorhood. You have to protect you have to protect your happiness at all costs. Okay? And you learn that also in the 6 week course. You'll also learn the secrets of motivation and self image. Why you can't get motivated? Why am I feeling so bad about myself? The original price of this course is 1,51,111. Okay. But just till 18th midnight, it's 15,111. Okay. So if you want all these results, and you can afford this, don't think twice. Just message me. The kind of success stories we've had with Bhavana Diksha is out of the world. I'll be compiling and sharing all of them soon. But I think don't wait for that. Before 18th, you message me and say, I want to receive Bhavana Diksha. I'll ask you a couple of questions. If I feel that you're the right candidate, I'll take you. Okay? Great. Take a screenshot of this number if you want, 988 600 6839, and message me. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go and get to the questions. Let's finish the ones which are here. Okay. Uh, does sunscreen block the prana from infrared? Yes, it does. Never use sunscreen, Anjal. Anjal is asking, does sunscreen block the prana? Yes, it does. Yes. Do not use sunscreen ever. It's not good for prana. Is hiccups good for the body? Yes, I mean, it's doing it because there is some kind of impurity. So if you drink water, get enough sun, and do pranayama, then it will go. Your hiccups will go. Okay? All right. So I have some questions, and let's check it out here. Oh, 14 questions. Oh my God. Okay. I had no idea. People are so interested. Okay, let's answer them all. First one, no name, says while doing Virya Labha, our intention to raise the prana up to the brain and collect the Virya and send to other parts while exhaling. So in Siddha Yoga, intention is important, and as we practice, we will be able to visualize more changes and movements. I hope I've got it right. Please forgive me. I wanted to make myself clear. Okay, I don't think you understand the meaning of question. So please understand the meaning of question. Those of you who want to know how to ask good questions, just message me and I'll send you a note on how to ask good questions. Okay? Next. Guruji, pranayam is usually called breath work in most yoga studios. Is it the same as breath? What should we visualize when we think about prana? Ask Anshuja. And Anshuja, the answer is it is not just breath work, it's breath, it is firework. Breath is just movement. Think of breath work as movement work, okay? Whatever movement can do, breath can also do. So, breath and movement work is just management of prana. But the proper generation of prana will need an internal heat called tapa, which is called tumo in Tibetan systems. Okay, so um it's not just breath work. There's a lot more there. You have to produce heat in your body if you want to. make that lattice bigger and bigger, and you need to be properly hydrated. Okay, it's water. The source of prana is water and fire. Okay, what is the question? Okay, yeah. Poonam is asking, when a woman conceives, after a few days, the baby's heartbeat starts. Is that when prana enters the body? No, no, no. Even when it's a zygote, it's not waiting for the heart. Prana has started even, prana is there in the sperm and the egg itself. Okay? All right. Source of prana, water and fire. Did you know that men are fire and women are water mostly? Okay. Men have more fire, women have more water. So a lot of teachings are there, which is about uh, sexual cultivation of prana. They use this fact that men are fire and women are water. Anyway, let's not get into that. So it is said that where your thought goes, your prana goes. Is it true? Well, not really where your thought goes. The intention matters. Does it mean that if I'm thinking about something or someone, I'm giving my prana to it? No, you are stimulating the prana there. It can move. Your intention can move across time and space. Okay. So the Naga Vayu is like a broadcasting Vayu. Nobody understands it. It uses scalar waves to broadcast anywhere in the universe. Okay. Look up scalar waves. So you're not losing prana. You're vibrating the prana over there by thinking of it. Hmm. Are you strengthening it? Depends on your intention. If you're thinking of them with a very bad intention, and if they don't know how to protect themselves, if they're not siddhas and they don't know how to protect themselves, then you can affect them. How can we generate prana? I already explained it is called pranayama, but not the pranayama you learn in your yoga class. That is beggar's pranayama. Okay. But the real pranayama you can learn if you take a siddha diksha. There's no shortcut to it. Okay. Anybody wanting free learning, I'm sorry, it's not possible. Okay. Is ojas and prana one and the same thing? No, they're not. Ojas is virya and prana is tejas. Okay, good. Next, Akash is asking what are the constituents of prana and how is it made in nature? I've already explained. How do we extract it out of the air we breathe? It's not in the air we breathe. It's in the water we drink and the heat we produce. The whole everybody's been barking up breath, but it's actually the movement which produces prana, the movement of breathing. It's not the breath, it's not the air. What is the intelligence behind it? Do we lose intelligence as we age? So Naga Vayu creates the intelligence, and do we lose the intelligence as we age? Depends how you used your intelligence. If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay. If you just followed everybody's orders, then you'll not be intelligent. Why is a child full of prana versus old people? Old people have just got programmed by society, Bollywood, and that's why they die. Okay? So you don't have to do that. You can come out of it, take Siddha Diksha, you'll escape. Shashank is asking, is there any relationship between muscle strength and prana? Yes, of course. The more the prana, the stronger the muscle. The bigger the lattice over there, the more the thing flowing. You can't see it, it's microscopic. But a few 4 or 5 layered lattice can make you 4 or 5 times more strong. With the same size of muscle, you can be much stronger, you know? Yeah, so it doesn't cause hypertrophy, but pranayama makes you really, really strong. I've seen skinny people lifting a car and all. Okay? All right. What happens to prana when it leaves the body? What happens? Prana doesn't leave the body. Prana just stops getting produced because the body gets dehydrated, and that's how you die. When you lose water, not you lose water. Structured water is lost from your body, and that's when you get old and die. Okay, dehydration kills you, and also loss of heat. If you're not able to produce heat, your body will die. How to cleanse the solar plexus chakra? So it's called Anahata Chakra. Okay, it's the heart chakra, and there is no need to cleanse it. It's pretty clean. Just don't load it with too much of pressure with your wrong posture. So change your posture. Don't put pressure on this area. A lot of you put pressure on this area, right? Okay, let me show you. So look, this is how you're supposed to normally sit. But what do people do? They sit like this? They put pressure on the heart. So by squeezing in here, you change the energy there. Okay. If you have proper posture, what you should do is slowly pull your shoulder blades together a little bit. Pull your shoulder blades together. That's it. Okay. Good. All right. So let me answer all these questions and I'll come back and answer the questions here. Hang on, everybody. Don't go. I'll answer every question. Okay. Does melanin in our skins, basically, Heinz, if you're asking me how to control your emotions, do Siddha Diksha, okay? No shortcut, do it. Before 18th, you can contact me and sign up. 19th onwards, we're starting. Hobby is asking, does melanin in our skins have the capability to synthesize and convert sunlight into prana? No, no, no. This is how advanced yogis live. Not just melanin. Melanin is just a pigment which reduces the sun for you. If the sun is harsh in your country, you're likely to have more melanin in your skin. Like Africans have more melanin and Europeans have less melanin. Okay. So does that mean Europeans produce less prana? Not really. Okay. So advanced yogis live on sunlight and no food. These ideas are coming from a guy called Elitom, who's also my teacher. I've learned some stuff from him. But he keeps talking about melanin, 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 and I feel that it's an agenda. That's not really how it happens. Okay? It's not through melanin. Okay, all right. So, how are the different vayus and breathing interconnected with prana, which we derive mainly from food? Uh, so, there are a lot of presuppositions here that prana comes from food. Prana doesn't come from food. Water comes from food. And heat comes from burning the rest of the food. The glucose in the body, which we put in, that produces heat. So that fire and water creates prana. Okay? Okay. Like a lot of presuppositions here. Like come with an empty cup and you would have understood what I said. Which aspect of air is called prana? See, again, presupposition air is prana. Okay? It is not. Prana is water and fire. Since pranayama is generally a practice of breathing in a particular manner to increase the prana within us, prana is breathing. This is all misinformation. Okay, get refund from everyone who told you that. And why Lord Hanumanji is called as Mukhya Prana? Well, Hanumanji used to he can store prana in his Hanu over here. So he was storing it around his tongue. So that's why maybe Mukhya can mean important, but it also means of the mukh, so of the face. Okay, Hanu is the jaw. Okay, then how can I use prana to fulfill my desires? How can I use it to bring more abundance? You please do Siddha Yoga. This you can't learn in a podcast. Okay, come on the 19th. And how do we see that we have poor relationships? How do we see there'll be no care in that relationship. You'll not feel cared for. You feel like shit. Is it when I'm experiencing sufferings and blaming them and making them responsible? Yeah, you don't care to have fun. You don't care to maintain your good emotions. Both people are throwing away the emotions as if it's not at all important. Okay, so that's a crap way to do bad communication. I am feeling a loving bond towards all of them. That's my part. Well, it has to be mutual, otherwise you're going to get exhausted. Okay, I intend to love myself and all others as self without any things. Why you go and leave all the human beings and don't learn any communication, sit under the ground? No, no. Instead of learning communication, you're trying to solve the problem by yourself. You have to communicate with others if you want to fix anything. If I'm missing on anything, please allow it to come to me. Yeah, it's allowed, it came to you. I hope you can hear it and do Siddha Yoga. Samparna is saying, I couldn't feel prana today. Some days I can feel energy. Yeah, that's because your heat is less or your water is less. Also, it's easier for me to feel prana at some points. That's right. Those are where the virya is stored. So, yes. I might be checked out of my body. I think whether I should occupy my body, I can't fully understand what it means. I have a strong urge to cry. So this means you need the diksha and quickly sign up for it. Okay. Yeah. So basically, these are all basic techniques, how to communicate, how to stay in your body. These are all techniques given to us by the gurus. And if you have any humility, learn them. They have not been taught to you in college and school, right? These are things that you can only learn from a Siddha Yogi. Okay, next question. How to get sun in cold weather countries? You can't get sun in cold weather countries. You have to produce heat with yoga. There's no other way. Okay, that's why yogis are in cold places so that they can practice the yoga. Okay, which is the first course I should start with? Siddha Yoga. Okay, message me first and say I want to take Bhavana Diksha. Bhavana Diksha is the first course. Hello, dear. Could you put light who is Lord Hanuman? I mean to ask his spiritual and archetype understanding. I'm really the wrong person. You should ask Devdutt Patnaik. He has all this. But for me personally, Hanuman is my Ishta Devata, and he gives me a lot of strength and power. And his main strength is bhakti. He is one of the biggest teachers of bhakti. Okay, so he could get the strength of Sri Rama just by. By the way, Sri Rama is stronger than Hanuman. I hope you know. He could bend Shiva's bow and break it. That's how strong he was. Okay, where others could not even lift it. But Hanuman's strength comes from surrender to Sri Rama. So if you want to learn that surrender and bhakti, then Siddha Yoga is the place. Okay, do course. Okay, benefits of how to get the benefits of sun and cold weather. Okay, you learn it in yoga. You're anyway coming for the course, Mangesh. Don't worry. You learn. Okay. Hunching puts pressure on the heart area as I just described. Does that also happen when you sleep on a side rather than the back? Is it better to sleep in certain positions? Yes, always sleep on your back. It's the best. But how can you control that? You need to stop being. Or if you sleep on your right side, you should sleep equally on your left side. Okay, body naturally does it. You can't control, micromanage all this, Palvi. Okay. If you have a good frame of mind, all these things will happen automatically. Only if you're a little mental, then wrong things happen in your sleep. Okay. I've joined body fundamentals starting on 20 seconds because that's the first thing I came across. Is that fine? This is nothing to do with that, man. If you want these benefits, you join here. Body fundamentals not going to give you these benefits. Okay. Which is natural sunscreen? I don't know. You don't need it. Your body already has sunscreen. Okay. Why are people afraid to get darker? If you go out in the sun, yes, you'll get tanned. But it's not a problem. It's just a cosmetic problem. If you want to lighten your skin, there are a lot of techniques which people use. I think one of them is Kasturi Manjal. Kasturi Manjal is one of the thing, and even sandalwood, if you can afford it. Kasturi Manjal and sandalwood, if you apply on your body, it gets lighter. But really, I mean, what's the point? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with lighter skin that you can't do now? Nothing. Okay, good. So, does anybody else have any questions? Because I'm at the end of the talk. If you have any questions, we have a few minutes. You can leave your questions. If you got no questions, type NQ. And if you're coming for Bhavana Diksha, please message me, okay? On 988 600 6839. Only then you'll be allowed in. I need to know who you are, what you do, why you want to do it. Then I'll accept you because I've had experience taking mental people before, and this is not a cure for mental health. Okay, it's not really. If you have some big mental health condition and then you come here, I can't help you. If you have some big ass physical condition and you want to recover from it, and you come here, I can't help you because you already got a mental condition before you get a physical condition. I want to catch people before they get screwed. Okay. So if you're one of those people, you're not yet screwed, but you know you're going to get screwed, then you come. If you can think in advance and come, then you come. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Palani says no questions. Shova says no questions. Got value. Heinz is sending flowers. Okay. Akash has a question. Does prana get affected by conditions like living in cities versus nature? Of course, because the fire and water is affected. Your water is polluted, and the heat is too much in cities, right? Eating processed versus organic food. Yes, because organic food does not increase the heat in your body so much. It keeps it optimum. Processed food will increase the heat too much in your body, and then the prana goes down, and then of course it destroyed. Please eat organic. Eating organic is not even optional, guys. So, should I start with Siddha Yoga parallelly or take one step at a time? No, take it parallelly. Don't worry, that's not one step at a time. Okay. Someone says, thank you and have a bright Sunday. You too. Somebody is saying grateful. Okay. Lakshmi says no question. Okay, so we're at the end of it today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again next week. And some of you were requesting that we keep the topics of last week for next week. So I'll try to do that. And then you can vote for next week's topic on my group, The Yoga of Accomplishment, on Facebook. If you want to vote for the topics that I speak about, join the Facebook group, The Yoga of Accomplishment. And then you'll be able to vote. And you can choose what, at least you can get to vote on what I get to speak about next week. All right? Cool. All right. Thank you very much. And have a great day. And see you next week.